So this part of our Victorian High Country adventure, we're leaving Tom Grogan and we're heading up the Alpine Way, and we're going to go and check out some sites along the way. So first up, we're going to head to Corryong, where we're going to check out the Man from Snowy River Museum, which is an awesome piece of history and well worth the visit. Then we're going to cut down into the Corryong Valley, or basically cut along the Corryong Road through the valley and then up to the ridgeline, where we're going to follow the ridgeline. Basically, we're going to chase the sun all the way to Dargo, where we're going to stop in at the back of the Dargo pub for a night. Then, plan is, head down to Talbotville and take on the challenging Blue Rag ascent all the way up to the top of the mountain. So, looking forward to a really, really big adventure on this episode. Make sure you grab a cold one or a warm one. It's pretty cold down here. And check out this adventure with the whole SCT crew. So Corryong Road is what we're currently cruising along. We're heading pretty much due south from this point on.
Yeah, it's been a pretty awesome view down through this valley so far.
Yeah, it has been, and just coming around all the switchbacks and curvy roads, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, so we're heading into the Gippsland, guys, High Country. Mark, what do you think about the safety on this road?
Well, there is none. But nah, it's a pretty cool road. It's I think it's actually a bit of a logging route. So even though it's sort of like a main road, it's still used regularly by logging trucks. So some pretty sheer drop-offs to the left, pretty high cliffs to the right. But yeah, pretty cool road.
Once again, you can see all the bushfires that are ripped through here, and then you've got that river running down through there. I'm guessing that'll get pretty powerful with a bit of flow on it.
Well guys, that was an interesting drive from Omeo, which we just stopped at, and now on the way to Dargo. This road is it's a main road, but it's a bit of a quagmire.
Yeah, it's been very slippery so far, but yeah, just had it in 4-wheel drive, which sort of made it a whole lot better.
It's interesting though, you slow up a little bit, but the technology of your vehicle comes in pretty quick and helps you out though.
Tell you what, this climb's been bloody well worth it. This ridge line that we're following all the way through past, was it Doc's Grave site, memorial site, all the way to Dargo. It's unreal. We're basically following the sun.
So we're up around 1350 metres at the moment, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, my eyeballs are on an overtime shift at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to look right or left, this is amazing.
And I shot not cleaning this camper when I get back.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain there's mud over the roof of the Elite Lite.
Just need to find another river crossing to clean them up, eh?
And a really deep one.
I think I'm going to have to reverse it in and submerge it fully. Righto, so we've just left Dargo and we're heading towards Talbotville, or Talbotville campsite. And there's a few ways that you can actually get there. Because we're towing, we're playing it a little bit safer, so we're going to take McMillan's Road. So basically what we've done is we've cruised up Dargo High Plains Road. We're going to chuck a left onto McMillan's Road. It's still a beautifully scenic road, but it's just a little bit less challenging because we've got the vans behind us. Right, so we've just turned off the Dargo High Plains Road onto McMillan Road. It's where the road starts getting a little bit rougher. So first things we're going to do, drop the tyre pressures. It might sound like a bit of a broken record, but it is the single best thing you can do to improve your ride quality and protect your tyres. I don't want to get any punctures. By dropping the pressures, it's going to save me a whole lot of time having to plug tyres or change wheels.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty keen to go through some of these river crossings, freshwater creeks, give the car a bit of a rinse underneath in the camper. But yeah, it's always a good view through the creeks.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen on tackling some river crossings today, but the main attraction I think is Blue Rag, so we'll tackle on that today, and it's been on my bucket list for a number of years now, so I'm keen as to get up there and see what it's all about.
So when you get to some of this really hilly country, you can actually drop the car into low range and use the gearbox rather than the brakes to basically slow you down. So low range isn't just for rock crawling and mud pits and sand. You can actually use it to help you control the car in really hilly terrain like this. So for us, we're towing. We're actually going to be using the engine and the gearbox to slow the car down instead of putting too much pressure and overheating the brakes. So dropped into low range, put the center diff lock on. So basically the car's got optimum control. It's a little bit clayey and a little bit slippery in parts, which means we've just got the best control of the car possible. And we're just going to let the car crawl down the hill by itself.
Righto Graham, we know we bring you along for a reason. We've got a little bit more of an entry-level camper here. So we've got a 100 amp AGM battery and we've got no DC charger in this model here. So to give it a full charge today, what can we sort of do?
Well, knowing that you've got an AGM battery storage in there, so what we're going to do is we've just got a very simple regulator here. It's connected directly to the battery that's in your trailer, and then I'm just going to connect the actual Anderson lead to one of my solutions here. So what I've decided to do is bring both options, but today I've got a 6 amp folding panel. It's monocrystalline. We're just going to point it north, and at the moment you see we're getting quite a few amps through there now, so that's option one. Option two, people prefer because of space, and it might be an option for your smaller trailer, is the actual blanket, and all I'm going to do there is just change it by unplugging that one and plugging it into that solution.
Yeah. Sort of covers all bases really, doesn't it?
Perfect solution for something that's minimum, no DC charger.
Alrighty guys, this is absolutely one of my favourite tracks, so you're in for a treat here.
And me and you did this probably about 10 or 15 years ago, and I remember it being a hell of a time. I have a soft spot for river crossings. How you finding it, Camo?
Yeah, I'm loving it back here. The only concern I've got is not having a snorkel, but if I have to get skull dragged through one of these creeks, I'm not going to complain, because this is spectacular.
Guys, this is awesome. It has to be one of the best. But how many of these crossings are there?
There's a total of 21, mate, along this little stretch.
And from memory, none of them are actually too deep. They flow a little bit, but they're pretty safe crossings, but yeah, a hell of a time.
What I do love about this area is how easy and convenient it is to base camp somewhere. So, you know, we've got the perfect little campsite back there and just going for a bit of a drive. Heaps to see.
Yeah, mate, yeah. It's the beauty about setting up the camp, isn't it, is that we've got comfortable campers back there. We can head back, set the fireplace up and pretty much, yeah, be comfortable bed and shower and living the dream. So we set up the campers at camp. We did a quick run up the Crooked River track, which was unreal, and yeah, probably one of the highlights of the trip. But now we're going to go and head up Blue Rag and check out the sights at the top of the mountain.
Righty guys, here it is, the famous or infamous Blue Rag Range track.
Tell you what, it's a pretty epic start to the track, isn't it? You're pretty much off the road and straight up.
Yeah, I'm keen as, like I said to you earlier today, this has been on my bucket list for a long time, so let's get into it.
It is cold, 4 degrees, but so excited, we've been waiting for this one.
It's going to be pretty chilly up the top, I think. I hope everyone's got their jackets.
And I can see the temperature dropping as we're climbing. So at the moment it's at 4 degrees. We're going down.
Yeah, I think it's also going to probably get a little bit slippery because the moisture's definitely holding in the ground here.
Yep, starting to slip already.
Isn't it funny how in the high country you can move around the different areas and the weather can just change so quickly? Like, it was a beautiful sunny day down at camp and now it's just starting to look like a bit of a blizzard.
I was actually just thinking the same thing. It actually feels a little bit like snow.
Some of the tracks like this, there's not too many passing opportunities, is there?
No, but I haven't had too many people rock up behind us trying to overtake.
If you boys look up to the right, up to the top of the hill, and you can just see that track there, it looks pretty gnarly.
I think that a lot of the accidents that do happen up here is people trying to get around oncoming traffic.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, bloody holy dooly. It's like you just have to, take your time. You can't rush this sort of track. It's a cracker.
There is no wonder this is listed as one of the most iconic tracks in Australia.
You cannot take the grin off my face at the moment. The climb is just, it's next level. This is unreal.
Even when you get the little breaks in the clouds just to our right, that view into the valley and all the ridges, it's just, it's amazing really.
It's really good with the technology of these cars too. They're just crawling up this mountain. It's like bloody awesome.
We're pretty lucky really on this side of the country. It's only, half a day's drive from Melbourne, a bit of a day's drive from Sydney, and here we are, absolutely mountain climbing this bloody hill.
Yeah, you're bang on the point there, Aaron. We've taken a week off, and we've ticked off some of the most iconic tracks in Australia with very little trouble, and as you said, only a few hours from home.
So Graham, that vehicle of yours, what have you actually done to it? It's sort of fairly standard, is it?
Yeah, so basically we've taken a stock standard Hilux. We've done our suspension, got our clearance on the front and back, but yeah, this is just Toyota working its natural self, and it's been quite enjoyable.
And it just shows as you've got the new tech cars and you've got a 30-year-old import car from Japan, and I've done all the tracks you guys have done, and it's just taken it in stride. So it doesn't matter what car you have, really, at the end of the day. But you just got to get out here and enjoy this type of stuff with a group of mates, or even solo if you got the right gear. So yeah, that's a message I reckon the audience can take home.
I'm actually thinking back to that museum that this Man from Snow River, and it gives you shivers to think that. So, the Man from Snow River, Jack Riley, I should say, Irishman back in the 1880s, I think it was, and just back in that day, knew this country like the back of his hand. You look down to the right, the sheer drop that these mountains. No wonder that bloke has got his name written in history.
Don't forget, that's before all these tracks were cut in too.
I got goosebumps going up and down this in a full drive with the biggest muddies you can possibly buy. He was on horseback.
This is pretty quickly making it into my top 10 list of more drive tracks I've driven in Australia.
This is the final climb up Blue Rag. Aaron's going ahead of me at the moment, and he has got a GoPro on the front of his car, so you guys can see how mental this is. But you have got less than a metre, a foot either side of the car, sheer drop off down the sides. and the track gets really scrabbly and rocky, you got to have your wits about you, because this, if you didn't hear just then, well, according to Young Camo behind me, this is f***ing epic. Literally pinned in the back of my seat, traction controls working with the tyres. There's sheer drops either side of me. If you can see out the window, it's a whiteout, can't see anything. So it might actually be calming the nerves a little bit that you can't see how far we could fall if I come down this drop. But we're heading up towards the final crest of Blue Rag, and well, this is what full driving and getting out there in Australia is all about. There it is. We've reached the pinnacle of Blue Rag, and I'm bloody chuffed. Well guys, we've made it to the top. All the cars are here. Check out the view. These guys, no sense of adventure. Well guys, I'm absolutely buzzing with adrenaline. That was insane. That climb up to the top of Blue Rag, oh, the heart was pumping. We're living the absolute dream. View might have not been as good as we were hoping for, but hey, the trip was well worth it. So that wraps up this part of episode 2. It's been great having you along. Make sure you keep an eye out for episode 3, where we're going to tick off a couple of the bucket list tracks around the Victorian High Country. We've had a blast. The boys are calling me back to camp, so I'm going to scoot on off. Thanks very much for watching.
Graham is rolling. Demo is rolling.
Ah. Watch the road, Mark. Watch the road.
So, Mark, we've got a...
How you going back there, Kev? Yeah, right. You can actually get a good view out the front. Get what I don't want in the background. I don't want to leave any dodgy, toys in the view or anything that could jeopardise my good standing in society.
Fair call. Yeah. I'm glad I captured that.